Have you ever been excited to dive into a new project, only to be stopped in your tracks by an error message? It's frustrating, right? If you've just downloaded Visual Studio 2017 and encountered a fatal error, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to tackle the issue of not being able to open the include file winres.h. I totally get it. You've just converted your project from Visual Studio 2008, and now you're faced with this error. It can feel like a huge roadblock, especially when you're eager to get started. You're definitely not alone in this. Many developers have faced similar issues. So here's the specific situation we're dealing with. A user recently asked, "Why am I getting the fatal error RC1015? Cannot open include file winres.h after converting my project to Visual Studio 2017. This is a common issue, and it can be quite perplexing. Let's work through it together. So what's going on here? The error message indicates that the resource compiler can't find the winres.h file, which is essential for building Windows resources. This often happens when the necessary Windows SDK is not installed or properly configured in Visual Studio. And stick around. I'll share a quick tip at the end that will help you avoid this issue in the future. You won't want to miss it. To resolve the fatal error RC1015, the user should first ensure that the Windows SDK is properly installed. This SDK includes the necessary header files, including winres.h. Next, the user needs to verify that the project settings are correctly configured to include the path to the Windows SDK. This can be done by accessing the project properties. After confirming the SDK installation and project settings, the user should check the include paths in the resource compiler settings. This ensures that the compiler can locate winres.h. Finally, if the user still encounters issues, they may need to repair the Visual Studio installation. This can resolve any missing components that might be causing the error. Fun fact: did you know that the first version of Windows was released in 1985? It's amazing how far we've come in software development, but sometimes we still run into these pesky errors. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution suggests using the retarget solution feature in Visual Studio. This is especially useful if you have multiple projects that need the same Windows SDK version. Simply right-click on your solution, select Retarget Solution, and choose the appropriate SDK version for all your projects. That's it for that response. Let's explore another one. An alternative solution provided by another user is to install the MFC framework. This step is crucial for resolving the error related to the missing winres.h file. That's all on that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative solution provided by another user suggests that the missing winres.h file can be found in two specific directories. They recommend adding these paths to your project properties. Let's take a look at an answer from another user. An alternative solution from another user suggests creating a fresh project. They found that by starting anew and immediately adding resources, they avoided the error. After that, they re-added all the necessary code and libraries. Although it was a bit tedious, they believe it helped resolve the issue. Let's take a look at another answer from another user. One user found that the error was due to incorrect project configuration. They suggest checking the VC++ directories in the property pages. Specifically, ensure that the include directories option is set to inherit from parent or project defaults. Here's that quick tip I promised. Always ensure your development environment is up to date. Regularly check for updates to Visual Studio and the Windows SDK to avoid these kinds of issues in the future. And there you have it. You should be able to resolve the fatal error RC1015 and get back to coding. Remember, keeping your tools updated is key to a smooth development experience. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.